Number 5. The Basement Hostage. There's hardly anyone with half a shred of decency who doesn't shudder at the mention of the name Joseph Fritzl. In 2008, the story emerged and shook the world that for the past 24 years, Joseph Fritzl had his daughter imprisoned in the basement of his home, where he mercilessly beat and raped her, as well as fathering 7 children from her, one of whom died not long after the birth. Eventually, Elizabeth's torture finally ended when her situation was seen by the authorities. Joseph was imprisoned for life. Elizabeth, her mother, and remaining children were taken to an unknown village in Austria, where they live today under alternate names. Number 4. Stephen Stayner. Stayner learned the hard way to not trust strangers when at the age of 7 he was kidnapped by a Texan pedophile named Kenneth Eugene Parnell. After years of brainwashing, sexual, and psychological abuse, Stayner finally escaped in his mid-teens when Parnell brought home another young victim. After walking 40 miles with the young victim, a 5-year-old named Timmy White, they reached a police station and they found Parnell, and took him into custody. However, the story has a tragic end, as both Stayner and White would die young at the age of just 24 and 35 respectively. Number 3. The Bus Kidnapping. Brothers Richard and James Schoenfeld, along with their friend Frederick Woods, decided the best way to get over the debt incurred from a sour real estate deal was to kidnap a bus full of children. They did so, taking over 26 students and the bus driver hostage. They later held them in a container at the bottom of a quarry owned by Woods' father. When the kidnappers called in to the local police station to make their $5 million ransom demand, they couldn't get through the busy switchboard, so they decided to take a nap. Meanwhile, the bus driver, Ed Ray, had managed to escape their captivity as well as all the children, leading all 3 horrible kidnappers to be arrested. Number 2. Jaycee Lee Dugard. Kidnapped at the age of 11 outside her home in South Lake Tahoe, California by convicted rapist Philip Garrido, she was renamed Alyssa and spent 18 years living in a shack in the back garden of the home owned by Garrido and his wife Nancy. She was repeatedly beaten and raped by Garrido. Jaycee mothered 2 children with him and eventually penned a book about her time in captivity entitled A Stolen Life. She was finally reunited with her family while Garrido was sentenced to 431 years in prison for his crime. The kidnapper's wife, Nancy, was sentenced to 36 years for being his accomplice. Number 1. Adam Walsh. There's few stories more chilling than that of Adam Walsh, the young boy kidnapped from a toy department at a Sears in Hollywood, Florida on July 27, 1981. Unfortunately, his head was found 2 weeks later by fishermen in a canal 120 miles away from Vero Beach. The most chilling thing about the case is that the killer, Otis Toole, was never brought to book for his crime because of the horrible mismanagement of the investigation by the police, including mislaid evidence and poorly documented investigative notes, as well as Toole's twice recanted confession of the murder. Toole died in 1996 while serving time in prison for a separate murder. The rest of Adam Walsh's body was unfortunately never found.